Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach Matt, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Going over a pretty interesting question, something that has been debated in the track and field, especially in the throwing world, for quite a few years. I'd say probably going back 10, 15, 20 years. A lot of people, and it changes all the time, a lot of coaches will talk about this and say, you know, why don't our athletes do well competing internationally? Why don't our high school athletes do well when they get to college? Why don't our middle school athletes do well when they get to high school? There's all these things that pop up when you see somebody who is, you know, the next greatest discus thrower, the next greatest hammer thrower, the next great shot putter. You know, why didn't they develop? Why didn't they get better? Blah, blah, blah. You hear this all the time. And you even hear it on the local level, on the high school level, when people say, you know, why doesn't this athlete get better? You know, why is he only throwing this far where he was, you know, still doing that last year? You know, he didn't throw any further his senior year than he did his junior year. Why wasn't there any improvement? You get a lot of this, and people ask, well, why is it? What is it about what we do here in this country, or what is it that we do here in this state or at this school, whatever level you're working on? Why aren't we getting any better? Why don't we see any improvements? And it's funny to talk about, because if you asked me this about 6 or 7 years ago, my answer would have been lack of coaching. I don't think 6 or 7 years ago there was a lot of really good coaching, or any coaching that really went around. You know, you always heard about schools that didn't have coaches. You always heard about, you know, coaches that only showed up once or twice a week, or the fact that coaches didn't really know what they were talking about. You can't say that anymore. Now, in my opinion, the biggest thing holding back people from really achieving their best, holding back throwers from achieving their true top potential, it's not coaching anymore. You can't use that as an excuse. Now, it's time. How much time are you spending focusing on track and field? How much time are you spending concentrating and actually having the implement in your hand? Time is the biggest factor nowadays. Why? I mean, where are you watching me right now? More than likely, you're watching me on YouTube. YouTube has blown up. If you don't have a coach, you have so many resources out there right now that weren't out there, say, 7 years ago. There are websites that are dedicated to throwing. There are websites dedicated to throws videos. There are channels like this one here that's dedicated towards helping throwers. There are so many more camps than there used to be. There are so many more training programs and videos and training books and online coaching and private coaching. There are so many more opportunities to, if you're hungry enough and dedicated enough, to become a better thrower and get great coaching. But none of that's going to matter if you don't spend enough time with the implements. And we see it all the time where somebody will finish track season. You know, it's the first weekend in June and the state championship ends, and then they don't pick up a shot or a discus or a javelin or a hammer. They don't pick that implement up until the end of you know, the Thanksgiving time, beginning of December, when indoor track starts. So they literally are taking about a 6-month hiatus from even putting anything in their hand. They take this massive 6-month off season, and then they wonder why they're not doing as well as they did the year before. You can look at it at a yearly time period. You can also look at it seasonally and say, during the season, how often is someone throwing? Well, if you're one of these athletes whose head coach makes them do a team warm-up for a half an hour, and then you do weight room for a half an hour, and then you go do some sprints and you go do some drills, all that's well and good, but if you're not spending any time with the implement, if you're only getting 15 throws a day, 20 throws a day, you're never going to become a great thrower. So seasonally, you have to look at your season and say, how many throws am I taking per season? You could even go weekly. How many throws did I take this week? Daily. How many throws did I take today? Even when you're out at the circle, how many throws did I take this hour? This half an hour? If you are out at practice and your coach gives you 1 hour of throwing, say it's a 2-hour practice and you have half an hour of warm-ups and team meetings and BS in the beginning, you have an hour of throwing, and then you have a half an hour of weight room. If you have an hour of throwing, it is your responsibility to get in that circle, Stop talking, stop all the BS, get in that circle, and throw with proper form and technique as many times as possible. If you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to spend more time with the implement. You are a thrower. You need to throw. That means you don't take a 6-month off season. That means that you don't take a week off in March for spring break. You don't take 2 weeks off at Christmas time. It means that you're going out and you're doing some extra work on Saturday or on Sunday if you don't have a meet. You're going out there and you are performing and you are getting the implement in your hand. There's snow on the ground, shovel out the circle. It's raining, get in your garage or get in your basement or in the gym at your school and just do hundreds of different drills. Just hundreds. I mean, just pick 5 drills and do each one 30 times. There's 150 drills that you just did, and that probably is going to take you 30 minutes. Spend time practicing. Spend time with the implement. If you don't have a coach or if you don't have a knowledgeable person showing you what to do at practice, that is not a problem. That is not an excuse. You cannot use that as an excuse anymore. Okay? You can go online, you can watch videos, you can buy books. The internet is a beautiful, wonderful thing. You can watch videos of the old throwers, you can attend camps, you can do video analysis, you can get training programs, whatever it might be. There are resources out there to help you if you don't have a coach. But if you're wasting your time at practice, if you're not taking the time to get out there during the off season, if you're not taking that extra day to get out and do maybe 20, 30, 40 throws on a Sunday or a Saturday, then that's your fault. You can't blame anybody for that but you. If we want to get better in this country, if you want to become a better thrower, you have to practice. You have to get out there and you have to put in the time with the implement in your hands. It's the only way that we're going to get better in this country. It's the only way that you're going to get better as a thrower is to put the implement in your hands more often than less and become a better thrower. Practice your release, practice your glides, do your drills. There's 400 plus videos under this channel alone that are going to help you do that. And if you're the right kind of person, if you're self-motivated and dedicated and hardworking, this video isn't for you. You're already doing what I'm telling you to do. If you're one of these guys who sits around all day and does nothing during the off season and you're still scratching your head wondering why you didn't get better, I'm glad you're watching this video.